What's going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at a new e-bike. This is the Engwe L20 2.0. Very excited to try this one out because this bike has a lot of specs that you would only find on bikes that cost more. So if this bike performs well, this is definitely going to be one of the best bang for your buck bikes in this price category. So as you can see here, this is a folding fat tire e-bike. The one I have here is in gray, but this one also comes in a nice green and pink color as well. So let's go ahead and dive into the specs. Coming to the back, we have a 750 watt motor, which has a peak of 1,125 watts. And then this also has 75 Newton meters of torque as well. Coming to the other side, we have mechanical disc brakes with 180 millimeter rotors. Looking at the tires, we have 20 by 3-inch tires, not a tire size I've seen often before. I have not tested any other e-bikes with this tire size. Usually a commuter e-bike would have somewhere around 2-inch thickness at the most. And then a fat tire e-bike is usually 20 by 4. This one is 20 by 3, so it's right there in the middle. Haven't tried it out yet, but I'm hoping this is going to be a good best of both worlds between a commuter tire and a fat tire. Coming to the battery, this is another first that I've seen in this price range. This is a 52 volt, 13 amp hour battery. Every other budget e-bike either has 32 volts or 48 volts. I have not seen an e-bike under $1,000 that has a 52 volt battery. Compared to a 48 volt battery, this is going to give you a little more power and a little more range as well. So based on the specs, this bike certainly seems like it's going to be a really good value. Coming to the front, we have a front fork suspension. I don't know who makes this, but it just has their Engwe logo on it. And then this bike also includes a seat post suspension as well. Looking at the lights, we do have a built-in front headlight, which looks like it should have a good amount of brightness as well. Coming to the back, we have a rear tail light, which also lights up when you push the brake. Up on the bars, we have a half twist throttle, a 7-speed Shimano shifter. Over here, we have our controller, little bell on the bike, and then we have the screen in the middle. A little bit basic looking, but it is a color screen, and on here you have your battery life, your speed, your pedal assist number, and your odometer, and you can also switch through and see a few different things on there as well. Last but not least, this bike weighs 68.3 pounds and has a max load of 264 pounds. As you can see here, it also includes a rear rack and a front rack. The rear rack has a max load of 55 pounds, and then the front rack can carry 18 pounds. All right, so first impressions, this is definitely a very comfortable bike to ride. This bike has one of the most comfortable seats I've used on any e-bike so far. It just feels very soft and comfortable. I don't know how it's gonna feel long term, because sometimes those soft seats aren't the best for a longer ride, but as of right now, this is definitely a very good seat. Let's go ahead and stop here, see how it is to pedal without the motor. All right, so it's not the easiest bike to pedal without the motor, but it's also not the worst either. It's kind of in the middle, not too bad, not that great. If your battery died out, you're definitely gonna be able to pedal home no problem, but you are definitely gonna get a bit of a workout the entire time. Yeah, even on gear 2, it's not the easiest bike to pedal. Gear 1, it's a lot easier, but then you're kind of pedaling like a hamster, so that's also gonna tire you out in a different way as well. So let's go ahead and throw on the pedal assist. Definitely much better once you get the pedal assist on. Pedal assist 1 barely gives you any assist. Feels like about 6 miles per hour. Pedal assist 2, about 9 miles per hour. Pedal assist 3, 15 miles per hour. So quite a gap between 2 and 3. Definitely feels like a good motor, but I'm noticing when it idles at a constant speed, it is one of the louder motors I've used. Right now I'm at 15 miles per hour. I don't know if you can hear it very well on camera, but it's kind of a steady buzz coming from the motor. It's not too bad, but it is a little louder than most other e-bikes I've tested. All right, pedal assist 4. Looks like number 4 caps out at 20 miles per hour. I can already feel I'm losing traction around that 20 miles per hour. So I'm pretty sure once you get around 22, 23, you're definitely gonna be ghost pedaling. But switch it up to number 5 and see what we get. Ooh. All right, so I got about 28 miles per hour. At that point, I felt like I was a hamster running in a cage. If I pushed a little harder, I probably could have got to 29 or so, but I would really be spinning at a high speed at that point. So I'm gonna say the limit for most people is going to be somewhere around that 28 miles per hour mark. But for the price, it's definitely an acceptable speed. For this price range, under $1,000, a lot of these e-bikes barely touch 20 to 22. So like I said, definitely a decent 750 watt motor in there. Let's go ahead and try out these brakes. Not bad, not great. Let's go ahead and try it again. Sometimes these brakes just need a little time to break in. All right, so yeah, it has good enough stopping power, but as you can see, it's not letting me skid my tires at all. So under normal biking conditions, you're gonna be good, but if you ever have an emergency stop, this might not stop you quick enough. They are mechanical brakes, they do stop good enough, but it just doesn't have that sharp bite that's really gonna stop you at a quick speed. Yeah, so overall, this is not gonna be the best e-bike out there, but given this price range, you shouldn't expect that anyways. If you compare this to a $2,000 e-bike, yeah, it's not gonna be that great, but when you compare it to other e-bikes in this price segment, this is definitely a good performing e-bike. Usually around this price, you'll get some no-name Amazon special that barely goes 20 miles per hour, and you'll get something like a 36 volt battery. As I said earlier, this has a 52 volt battery, which is not something I have ever seen in this price range. This is gonna give you an increased amount of torque and longer range compared to a 48 volt e-bike. So if you buy this expecting it to be the biggest performer, then obviously you're a little delusional. No one can deliver a super bike for an affordable price. But if you want a bike that's gonna perform good enough, maybe for your kids or your first e-bike, this is definitely gonna be a good option in that price range. And another thing, this bike comes with both a rear rack and a front rack. Usually a lot of other companies, you gotta pay extra for that. But this one's included in that base price. Overall, the suspension feels good. The seat post suspension definitely helps. I don't feel any of the bumps in the back. A lot of these bikes only have the front suspension and they don't have the back suspension or a seat post suspension. So you'll go over it nice and smooth with the front wheel, but then once you go over the back wheel, that's when you'll feel that sharp jarred bump travel through the seat. But this one definitely feels nice and comfortable. All right, let's go ahead and try this out. Top speed on throttle only. All right, so I did feel it let off at 20 miles per hour, 21 miles per hour, but I am going a little downhill right now, so I think it stopped about 20 miles per hour. I haven't messed with the controller yet, so I don't know if there's a way to unlock that to get the full 28 on throttle, but out of the box, the most you can get on this is 20 miles per hour. It's a flat terrain here. Let's go ahead and try this out again. 20.4. Yeah, I really like these tires. I have not seen these tires in any other e-bike. I'm sure there's other e-bikes out there, but I haven't tested any e-bike with these kind of tires. And like I said earlier, it's a good balance between a commuter e-bike and a fat tire e-bike. It's not that heavy. You don't have that much rolling resistance, but it's also not that thin and narrow as a commuter tire. So you still get the benefit of being able to ride in some off-road conditions and get more grip on wet or snowy areas as well. As far as range goes, I think this bike is definitely gonna have enough range for most people. Real world, you're probably gonna get about 25 to 30 miles if you're going maybe in that 15 to 18 miles per hour mark. A little less if you're going quicker, then a lot more if you're going less. So I think it should be good enough for most people. A lot of people make a mistake of buying a cheap e-bike and it comes with something like a 9 or 8 amp hour battery, and honestly, in my opinion, that's just useless garbage. Yes, it's cheaper, but you're really not going to be able to go that far. So in the end, I think you're better off spending more money and getting a bike that at least has battery like this one has. Cop behind me kind of startled me for a second, thought I was in trouble, but luckily he was just driving past. Overall, when it comes to e-bikes, I'm not too crazy about handlebars like this with this kind of flat scooter kind of style, but one thing I do like about them is they usually come with this adjustable stem here, so whether you're short or tall, you can easily adjust the bike to make it better for you or your preferred riding style. On a bike like this, I kind of like the lower chill style, so that's why I have the bars mostly at the bottom here. Yeah, so overall for the price, this is definitely a good performing e-bike. As I said earlier, I've actually tested a few e-bikes that were cheap around this price range, and I think those bikes were just absolute garbage, but this is actually a decent to good e-bike. So if you're looking for an e-bike around this price range, don't look at the AliExpress specials. Don't go on the Amazon and get a weird random no name. I would definitely recommend just sticking with this e-bike. All right, well, that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.